Good evening, folks, and welcome back to log number 7 of my channel. Today, what we are going to talk about? Today, we are going to talk about what I learned from a podcast that I was listening to yesterday. It was a podcast of Andrew Huberman, and he had invited David Goggins. So, what I wanted to discuss with you was like what I learned from it. I'll tell you in deep, like in brief. I won't go in deep because I can't, and I don't have the sufficient knowledge to share like everything in detail. But what I learned from that podcast exactly was Andrew mentioned a part of our brain. I don't know what it is. It's not the amygdala or hippocampus or nothing like that, but it's a specific part of the brain that is somehow related to the willpower to live. All right, it's it's like related to the will to live, and apparently it's larger in people with have like people who have lived longer in comparison to people who have lived shorter lives. And obviously, they died with a natural death, like in as a requirement. But anyways, uh, he mentioned that people who do the hard work, like who do things that they don't like, for example, David Goggins, right? People who do hard work, people who do things that makes them uncomfortable, pushing their limits, they have this part of their brain larger, and they tend to live longer lives as well. And he also mentioned that this particular part of the brain is not set, it's not fixed for a person for his entire life. You have this much and you have to live with that. And nah, that's not the case. That part of the brain can be increased in size by training yourself, by training your willpower. And how to train your willpower? Well, Goggins said it quite explicitly and quite properly and quite clearly yesterday's podcast, that you have to do the hard work, you have to go do the uncomfortable things, you have to go through uncomfortable conditions and push yourself, push your limits. And there is no other shortcuts, there's literally no other shortcuts to this. And honestly, he is true. Like, no matter how many motivational videos you watch, no matter how many people you talk, no matter how many people you ask for motivation, ask for advice, go to talk shows, try to motivation doesn't work. In the end, it's discipline and willpower that will pull you through your hard times and uncomfortable situations. And yeah, that what I learned from yesterday. And how I'm going to apply it in my real life, well, we had a live example today evening. Exactly today evening, I came to my dorm back, and I was like extremely lazy. I didn't feel like going to the gym and stuff. I honestly was like, I'm going to sit in the bed, jerk off, and go to sleep. But I didn't do that. I sat in my bed. I was contemplating about jerking off, but then I was like, nah, man, I can't do this. I don't want to live like this. I want to live a better life. I somehow dragged myself, took my bag, wore my shoes, put my creatine, glucose, and just took all my stuff, went to the gym, and I swear to God, today was the best chest and tricep workout I ever had. I still feel the pump. And I honestly feel so proud for myself that I pushed my limits. I didn't give in to myself. I didn't give in to my desires. And I went to the gym, and I'm so happy about it, swear to God. So, and what else news going on? Well, today I pushed myself to the gym. Well, now how am I going to push myself mentally? Well, I was watching a lecture about Marty Lobel's lecture, and in that he mentioned about like our brain, like how long can a normal college student can focus. So he asked the students to do an experiment that's like, sit down, study, and as you are studying, start a timer and keep studying. The moment you feel that your brain stops working or you can't, things cannot go in, stop the timer. That amount of time that you have is the limit, is the brain capacity, is like, what can you say, um, yeah, it's, yeah, basically it's a limit of how long you can study, right? So then he asked, gradually keep increasing that time period, like, uh, for example, if I sit today and it's 30 minutes, I'll gradually increase from 30 minutes to 35 minutes to 40 minutes to 45 minutes, eventually to an hour, then 1.5 hour. That's how I am planning to push my mental strength on how to study. And like, mm, that's how I'm planning to push myself mentally and academically. But yeah, that's all the interesting stuff that I learned in the span of 2 days, and I am very excited on how this ends. And I'll give you a log and give you an update on how this goes in the next video. And yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Peace.